Oh, y'all, is this video going to make y'all smile? You know what happens when a socialist utopian dream meets reality and a governor that says they're not going to raise taxes and you have no money to achieve all the promises you just made, the entire population, the woke left of New York City? Yeah, it's going to be amazing popcorn movie time is what it's going to be. Everything I'm about to show you is going to be linked in the description box below, but we can file this video firmly under what happens when a socialist meets reality. Of course, we're going to talk about that New York City uncomfortable situation of meeting that reality. Everything's been linked in the description box below. I'm going to do a quick video here just to prime the pump for our live stream tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Time. But guys, this one, it's so beautiful watching socialism and the utopian dreams meet reality. It's kind of like watching a child think that everything's just free, and then they go out into the world and they go, wow, this is expensive and hard. Yep, it actually is. But let's get into it. You can follow me on X at Braden LOA if you'd like, of course. Again, the midday snack right before our live stream entertainment. This one, yeah, let's just get it. All right, I'm sure you guys are familiar with the New York City Mayor, Zohran Mamdani, or Mayor-elect. He's meeting a few issues about his whole, socialist free buses, free everything thing. Yeah, watch this.
Talking about free buses, you're talking about free childcare. Can you do that without raising taxes?
I think you can do that, and I think you have to raise taxes on the top 1% of New Yorkers who make more than $1 million a year, and you do that by raising taxes by them 2%. And then you also increase the corporate tax of New York State to match that of New Jersey. So that takes us from about 7.25 to about 11.5%, which is what we see in New Jersey. These things together raise about $9 billion, which more than pays for our economic agenda.
It's just the city government. That kind of a tax increase is going to require the state as well, including the governor, Kathy Hochul. Is she on board?
You know, I'm proud to have Governor Kathy Hochul's endorsement and the endorsement of our agenda, specifically universal child care.
We know that mom.
All right. This guy is one of the best snake oil salesmen we've seen in a minute. I'm going to be honest. Between him and AOC, it's like this. It's really wild. However, the harsh reality of something we've all known this entire time of this whole campaign while we were watching. Of course, you and I both knew that the guy was going to get elected. It wasn't even an opportunity. It was not even a question. He was going to get elected. New York has elected socialists in the past. They're going to elect socialists in the future. It's not like this is something that's unusual. It's a far left blue bastion state city entity. However, when you start to realize that the New York City mayor doesn't have the ability to raise taxes on anyone, and it has to go through the state legislature, all of a sudden reality hits you like a brick in the face. And this is the thing that's going to go really poorly when all the people who are expecting those free buses, free childcare, free everything, take the land or take this means of production, seize all the landlord property. It's going to meet a bit of an issue when you don't have legislature support. All right, watch. Hochul right here blows the entire thing out of the water.
He does want to tax the rich more, bring it up about 2%. He can't do that on his own. You've previously said that you wouldn't be raising taxes. Have you reconsidered that stance?
No, I would say one energetic rally does not get me to change my positions, I assure you. But I do hear people's voices. I process what everybody says, but I'm also have to balance governing this state and making sure that those people who are actually the reason we have a generous, supportive budget that helps lift people up, it's their revenues that we tax. 1.5% of New Yorkers cover about a third of our budget. That's enormous. I'm concerned about outmigration of people who are the ones who are supporting our budget. I cannot make up for that with middle class tax increases. I cannot do that to the middle class and the struggling New Yorkers.
Can you?
All right. This is the part about this that just hit the fan. And if you guys are with me on this and I'm over the target, let me see some planes in the chats, in the comments, and the emojis. Let them fly. Because what Kathy Hochul just said was, no, we can't raise taxes on the rich because they will just leave, and then our tax base, of which we are scavenging and supporting the rest of the population, as her words, a very generous support system, won't be there anymore, and you can't make up that money revenue through the middle class tax increases. Also, it would destroy their population support for the Democrat Party in New York. If you go down the line of everything's going to be free, we're going to tax the rich, and then the rich leave, and all of a sudden the middle class are the rich, you're going to have a Republican New York. Because you're taking all the money from the people who said that wasn't going to be taken from. And Hochul is having a bit of a reality moment, particularly since she's getting a really serious challenge from Elise Stefanik as for the governor of New York next year. How's this socialism utopian dream working out, Zoran? Let's keep on going because the ish is hitting the fan hard. Here's another one. Hey, Zoran, how are you going to get $15 million or $900 million or whatever number you need magically if the governor's not going to give it to you? Listen to this. If this is not childhood, it's just going to happen through unicorn tears and magic. I don't know what is. Listen to this.
Let's just talk about what Governor Hochul said very recently about buses.
I cannot set forth a plan right now that takes money out of a system that relies on the fares of the buses and the subways. But can we find a path to make it more affordable for people who need help? Of course we can.
It sounded like it was a bit new that she was saying it's not a good time to take revenue out of the MTA. Now, my understanding of your plan is that the city would subsidize the revenue, but she has other reasons why she doesn't sound too keen on the bus situation. Should she have said that before people voted based on that issue? Is that a shift? Or have you always known that she felt that way? And also, is there a workaround?
Well, I think the governor and I share a belief that in making buses free, we have to replace the revenue for the MTA. We cannot simply demand that they do so without covering the amount of money they would raise from fares. And that's a cost of about $700 million a year. And
so $700 million a year is just going to be found, right? So it's $700 million per year is going to be generated by taking the money from the rich, which, by the way, he has no power to do in the state of New York. It has to go through the legislature. What do you bet that the legislature in New York is not going to grant a tax increase of 2% to generate $9 billion to pay for free buses only in New York City and neglect the entire rest of the state? When reality comes knocking, for a socialist, it's always fun. But they share the belief. Okay, he's talking about revenues. It doesn't just come out of nowhere. Watch.
And I continue to be excited about the work of making the slowest buses in America fast and free, and of sharing the governor's interest in delivering on an affordability agenda.
But do you need to get past whatever her objection is to it at this point that she just stated in the last couple of days?
I see the concern being that we don't mimic what we saw under the previous administration in Albany, where what we would find time and again is the MTA was told, make this happen no matter what the cost is. And what we want to do is what we did when we made 5 bus routes free in New York City. We found $15 million, gave it to the MTA, covered the revenue they would have made from fares, and ensured that they could still be whole.
Is that the solution in your view?
We're going to approach this as there's always a way to get to yes, that there's going to be a way, and we're going to work with the governor and her staff, and we're going to have conversations to get there. Whatever the barriers are, whether it's financial, whether it's operational, there's a way to figure that out, and that's how we're approaching this.
So the way that they're approaching this is unicorn dreams, pipe dreams, and just a bunch of hopium. Y'all, they are literally saying that we're not going to get the money from from the state level of New York's government through the legislature. We're just not going to get it. The governor is saying you're not going to get it. So they're just going to magically find a way to get to yes to generate $700 million in order to make buses faster and free, completely negating all rules of capitalism, all rules of human interaction and human experience, and of course also avoiding the lessons of the tragedy of the commons. You can literally go down multiple examples of why this is going to be a tremendous failure. But you know what? I'm here for it. We don't live in New York City. We're going to have fun watching it. Get your popcorn ready. I'll see you tonight at the live stream. It's probably going to be pretty spicy, and I'll see you on that live stream tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. Braden, out.